I'm working really hard to learn how to appreciate the time I am in right now, to try and take stock of it and be present, because everything is so temporary. And in relation to games specifically, we don't really own anything when it comes to new multiplayer games. The servers could turn off in a blink. I was watching a great Lost Saves video that I'll leave linked down below, in which Epos Vox talks about how temporary modern gaming is. Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, and Battlefield Hardline, the Xbox 360 servers are shutting down. Same thing, the Xbox 360 marketplace is shutting down in like 2 weeks. And this hits particularly close to home because Battlefield 3 for me was primarily played on the Xbox 360. I remember playing the beta. Operation Metro, I think, was the map, and just experiencing Battlefield for the first time since I was a kid, playing like 1942 on the PC. And no, I'm not really gonna go and play Battlefield 3 a ton on the 360. But I'm still bittersweet that that experience is going away. I'm really sad that you can't go play Halo 3 on the 360 on the official servers anymore. Fans and community members have made cool ways to do so, but even during the MCC years, I liked going back and playing on the 360 a bit of Halo 3 each year. It would make for a fun video, and at the same time, there's UI elements and music and the matchmaking screen, and just so many memories associated with it that are just straight up gone. And I find it kind of shocking, Forza Horizon 4. I really like that game. It's shutting down really soon. They made the announcement like a week or two ago. That game came out, I think, in 2018. That baffles me. And of course, it's a live service racing game. And for Forza Horizon 5, it's a great game too. But I like 4 a little more than 5. And to know that experience is pretty much going away, or I guess it's delisted. It's not necessarily the full-on shutdown treatment, right? And Xbox has done some cool things, like if you bought DLC for it, they're giving you the game for free. It is really sad to me, though, that so many of the experiences that we go through are so temporary. So in the video, I wanted to talk about some gaming experiences that you can't really play anymore, things that I really miss, but also to kind of relate it to real life in the sense of, I don't really realize I'm in the good season or a good time until months or years go by and you hit challenges and things get hard, or you didn't realize how good you had it or how different things were. I want to get better at appreciating the now, being really intentional, trying to be present and taking stock of the positives. So at least on the gaming side, a few stories. Old Man Dragoon coming out here. Nexus was a game for Xbox 360 and PC. I don't know if it came to PS3. It was on the Xbox Live Arcade, I think. And it had a ton of marketing behind it. I remember Machinima must have partnered huge with them because they promoted the heck out of this game, and I loved it. This was an arena shooter. It was kind of quakey, kind of Unreal Tournament-y, but it had its own flavor, its own feel, great music. Sorry for the 720p gameplay. I mean, this is old Hapog gameplay. I really could not get enough of this game. I had grown up playing Unreal Tournament, and this just vibed so heavily with me, and I couldn't believe that something like this could just come out on the Xbox Live Arcade for a really cheap price, if I remember right, and everybody was playing it, and it was just so fun. Now, I've tried to return to play Nexus a dozen times in the last, 10 years. Can't do it. Servers are offline, there's no real fan patches that I can find or a community keeping it alive, and it's just gone. That was a period of time where people played it and they moved on, and it was no longer financially viable to maintain access to the servers. So for me, it's a bummer, and I've talked about Nexus on the channel so much over the years, and it is this pedestal moment in my brain of a really fun, cool gaming experience that's just kind of gone. Unreal Tournament 2004 is also one of those. Thankfully, it does something that keeps it still playable. Number one, even though Epic decided to turn off the servers for the Unreal games, which for a second, hold on. You're Epic. Unreal is your backbone. Like, this is what made the company. And I just cannot imagine the cost of a handful of servers for those Unreal games is actually hitting the bottom line that hard for Mr. Fortnite over here. Come on. But you can still play UT 2004 online. Fans have put together fan servers. there's not a lot of people playing, but you can at least go and play the game online, and it's got bot support. So huge props to any games that include the ability to play them offline, because that is how you can experience a game someday down the road. You know, maybe I need to go to a QuakeCon or something to go play Nexus on LAN with the 10 Nexus fans still around, or UT 2004 with people. That would just be incredible. Lawbreakers is the one that comes up a bunch, and I show Lawbreakers footage on the channel a lot. I loved that game. I bought 3 different copies for 3 different friends. I believed so strongly in that game. I seriously enjoyed that game so much. And the fact that a year after buying it, you could not play it is just savage. That's so lame. I know there's probably a ton that happened behind the scenes between Nexon and Boss Key, and there's just a lot of junk, it sounds like. But I feel like as a player, number one, that's garbage. That's a load of BS for the player. They bought a premium game. 1 year is not long enough to then just yank the servers offline and not give players the option to run their own community servers, or to put, single player or bot access into it, or to not offer some sort of refund. Lawbreakers gameplay is sick. I've been putting it in the videos, and so many comments from people who never played it who are like, what is this game? And yet, can't touch it. Business feud going on behind the scenes. There is the RELB project, which is a fan restoration project, and it's a Discord, I think, that you can join. They've run play tests, and they've gotten it running, so there may be an option to play it there. But again, it probably will never see the amount of people that it would if they just kept the darn servers on. And sometimes it has nothing to do with servers. Like a game like Anthem, I thought the movement was so cool. It just was not done. Such a mess, and not a good enough game to sustain like a player base to go out and try it, When it comes to games, like, I wish modern developers would do a few things. Number one, give the community access to develop their own servers. If you're going to shut down your game, do a nice handoff to the community. At least pass the documentation along about how the game could potentially be played moving forward, right? Let the scene take it from there. If there's passionate enough fans, they can figure it out. Obviously, if you can keep servers on, go for it, but that's not always financially feasible. The other option is stop making these things always online with continual authentication. Single player modes and bot support goes a long way. This is the big reason modern gaming feels so temporary, so throwaway. You are at their behest. The publishers, you are captive to how long they decide to keep the servers on and what they're going to do with that experience. It's really frustrating. And I don't know if any of you are fans of Always Sunny in Philadelphia, but the last episode of the latest season is phenomenal. It's about Glenn Howerton's character, Dennis, just coming to grips with how abrasive our modern day-to-day life is, with how many frustrations there are from all these new air quote modern systems. They're supposed to make things more convenient, but ultimately just make life harder and give companies way more control and access than they had 10 or 15 years ago. I feel like there's going to come a point where, like, the zeitgeist of humanity, wow, I never thought I'd get to use that in a video, is going to wake up and go, we have traded away so many cool, nice things for the guise of freedom and convenience in this new modern system approach. I'm going to wrap with just saying, in life, there are good seasons, there are bad seasons, there's boring seasons, there are periods of time that are punctuated by all three and then some. It's not always one or the other. But I'm trying really hard right now to recognize when I'm in one of those periods. That's awesome. When there's a game that's super cool that I know won't last forever. I'm trying not to get stuck on nostalgia. I'm trying not to just say everything new, all bad, because that's not true either. But definitely being intentional is critical. I think it is super important. Keep your old game consoles. Don't get rid of them. Don't sell them. I always figured, oh, sure, I can go buy a game on the 360. Well, that's over. The 360 marketplace is gone. A lot of discs these days are just a license key for the most part. It's only like a half complete build, and then you need a massive update. There's gonna come a time where some games you just can't play. because the servers are no longer willing to be left on. And the older I get, the more I desire that ownership of a product. If I bought it, I want to own it, and I want to be able to use it down the road. Doesn't always apply with multiplayer games because you need an audience and servers, and those change. So appreciate the season that you're in, like the stuff that you like, don't waste time on things that you don't, and I hope you have a very good day. Thanks for listening to this video. We'll see you again in the next one.